It is an absolute madhouse right now in Syria. So Bashar al-Assad, his regime, is officially over. The IDF has entered Syria and is taking land as we speak. Part of that is just to sort of create a buffer zone. And the rebels have taken over. The prisons are sort of, emptying out. Everything is going to shit. But one very good story and something that we should all be happy about is the IDF has now taken Mount Hermon, control of the peak of Hermon without a fight. The IDF has taken control of the peak of the Hermon without a fight. This provides a commanding 360 view of Syria and Lebanon and prevents Hezbollah or jihadis from being there. Jonathan Conricus reports on X. So you see IDF soldiers on top of Mount Hermon with an Israeli flag. It has a lot of cultural significance as well as, like he said, strategic significance to take Mount Hermon. So definitely a success there. Now, in addition to that, the IDF, as well as the American military, are striking targets in Syria like never before in the last 50 years. Biden gave a sort of address to the nation talking about how they attacked Syria. This is footage over here of actually an IDF strike on a chemical weapons facility in Syria. So the reason why they're doing this is because they want to essentially avoid a lot of these Syrian rebels to actually get these weapons. So they're destroying them before they can come in. Bashar al-Assad was spotted in Moscow. He fled. He fled like the coward he is. Dr. Ellie David reports, breaking news, first photo of Bashar al-Assad in Moscow. So he took refuge with Putin, and I guess Putin is still on good terms with him and was like, okay, you don't really have a country anymore, but just come to Moscow and, we'll take care of you. This is a video of the IDF bombing chemical targets in Syria. So as you can see, very, very aggressive. The IDF is really going strong, as well as the American military are working in conjunction with each other in order to avoid possibly allowing something like a bunch of terrorists taking over, real strong military weaponry. Donald J. Trump, for his part, was recently asked if he supports Israel's right to continue this war or whatever, if he will support Israel continuing this war or stopping this war. Does he support ceasefire now? So check out what he says. I'm a big fan of what he says over here.
Are you going to pressure Prime Minister Netanyahu, with whom you have a very good relationship, to end the war in Gaza?
Yeah, sure.
And have you already started that process?
I want him to end it, but you got to have a victory. People forget about October 7th. That was as violent. And you know what's happening? I noticed that a lot of people are saying, oh, it never really happened. That's like the Holocaust. You have Holocaust deniers. Now you have October 7th deniers, and it just happened. No, October 7th happened. And I've seen the pictures. It is, what happened is horrible.
So again, that was Donald J. Trump when asked if he would support a ceasefire or pressure Israel to end. He said, I want it to end. I want this war to be over. But I also understand that Israel needs to finish. And the idea that you can just you can just end the war without winning, without having victory, as he called it, is insane. So kudos to Donald J. Trump for sticking with Israel there. Again, this is the video that started in the early morning. Benjamin Netanyahu released this video of him on the actual in the Golan Heights, just releasing a video about the end of the regime and what's going to come.
This is a historic day for the Middle East. The collapse of the Assad regime, the tyranny in Damascus, offers great opportunity but also is fraught with significant dangers. This collapse is a direct result of our forceful action against Hezbollah and Iran, Assad's main supporters. It set off a chain reaction of all those who want to free themselves from this tyranny and its oppression. But it also means we have to take action against possible threats. One of them is the collapse of the Separation of Forces Agreement from 1974 between Israel and Syria. This agreement held for 50 years. Last night it collapsed. The Syrian army abandoned its positions. We gave the Israeli army the order to take over these positions to ensure that no hostile force embeds itself right next to the border of Israel. This is a temporary defensive position until a suitable arrangement is found. Equally, we send a hand of peace to all those beyond our border in Syria, to the Druze, to the Kurds, to the Christians, and to the Muslims who want to live in peace with Israel. We're going to follow events very carefully. If we can establish neighborly relations and a peaceful relations with the new forces emerging in Syria, that's our desire. But if we do not, we'll do whatever it takes to defend the state of Israel and the border of Israel.
Strong words from the prime minister there. Again, here is a picture of Bashar al-Assad, or no, this isn't a picture, but this is a picture of his family. And he, an official in the Kremlin, Assad and his family received political asylum in Russia and just arrived in Moscow. So Bashar al-Assad is in Moscow. He's getting out of there. He wants no part of this. Okay, so he's still alive. There were a lot of rumors about his death, but he is still around. Seems that this guy is the guy to take over. He recently did a CNN interview where he said that he's much more moderate now, although he is a former Al-Qaeda member. Meet the rebel leader trying to take down Assad and free Syria. Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, the once Al-Qaeda guy turned freedom fighter, is leading Syria's biggest rebellion in a decade. His troops have stormed Aleppo, Hama, and more. Now he's eyeing Damascus. This tweet was before he took Damascus, like it's the final boss in a video game. Jolani says he's here to liberate Syria, but let's not forget, this is the same guy who ran a group cozy with Al-Qaeda before rebranding himself as a pragmatic revolutionary. His rebel coalition is a mixed bag of Islamists and moderates, making it hard to tell if this is progress or just chaos in a new wrapper. Sure, he's ditched the global jihad branding, but his administration hasn't exactly been a beacon of democracy. Imprisonment, dissent, crackdowns, and taxes no one can afford sounds less like liberation, more like a rerun. Liberator or overlord in the making, in waiting, Syria's fate is riding on whether Jolani can walk the talk or if this is just Act 2 of its ongoing nightmare. A massive crowd of Allahu Akbar shouting Syrians have gathered in Utrecht today next to the Netherlands' tallest church tower. Since they're all so overjoyed, I say we put them straight on a one-way flight back home to Syria. One of the more terrifying things about this is that, again, the Christians in Syria are going to have a very rough time of it because there's probably going to be Sharia law implemented. And I don't see, this being a very comfortable position for Syrian Christians to be in. Okay, so that's basically it. For more, subscribe to this channel. If you want to help us make more of these videos, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored, and we'll update you if anything else happens. Thank you. Have a good one.